Hey everybody, welcome to the first episode of season 2 of the Move with Momentum podcast. I am Bruce Breedlove. This is John Brooks. Say hello, John.
Hey everybody.
Hey, so some new topics this season. We wrapped up with episode 10. We wrapped up the first season, just kind of recapping everything, where we've been, what's going on in our lives, the history of the podcast, and then the future with Momentum. So we want to open this season up, episode 1 here, of talking about the future of real estate, the real estate bundle. John, I want you to tell myself and the viewers, what is the real estate bundle? Why does it matter? And why the future of real estate is involving the bundling of services, and why we're going this direction.
Yeah, I think it's inevitable. There's just this great book on it. It's called Platform Revolution. And what people want, what the consumer wants, is basically a place where they can do everything real estate and have a one-stop shop where they can just get, just like Amazon. Like, you want to buy something, go to Amazon, it's delivered to your door in a convenient and affordable way. That's what every single business is going towards. If you think about medicine, telehealth, right? Like, customers demand instant, convenient results on everything. So what's happening in the real estate industry is there's been a record number of acquisitions over the past couple of years in the real estate space between brokerages, lenders, title companies, insurance companies. And so those are kind of the core 4 companies. And basically what big lead aggregators, if you think like Zillow, Realtor.com, the Realogy brands, which by the way is like a bunch of different big box brokerages that I could name off, and you would be kind of surprised that they're all owned by the same parent company. They're out there creating these organizations and creating a platform so they're a one-stop shop. So hey, when you come to work with one of our agents, you use our lender, you use our title company, you use our insurance company, they're going to bundle those services together and give it to the buyer and the seller, and potentially give a discount on it. They're going to collect the extra money and maybe pay for their moving costs. They're going to basically pass on incentives for them using the bundle to the consumer, just like any other industry. Like, by the way, every industry does this. It's just starting to happen in real estate at such a fast pace that brokerages who are, smaller brokerages, we're going to have to build these ancillary services to be able to compete in the long run, because that's where it's all headed. And they're creating very efficient structures to make that happen. So we'll kind of see what happens over the next couple of years, but I have a feeling like Zillow does Zillow home loans now. They also do Zillow offers, right? So that's 2 ancillary businesses that they didn't have before. They're doing referrals versus selling the leads through their Flex program. Realtor.com is teaming up with Quicken Loans. I don't know if you saw that on Inman the other day, but they're all working together to build the same exact thing, because they're realizing, hey, I'm at the top of the lead funnel. Why don't I keep that all in-house? Why am I giving away all these extremely valuable referrals? And all they have to do is either JV through a JV partnership, or find other people who can provide the 5-star level service that is congruent with the brand that they're trying to build. And I think that everyone's going to start building it. So, I know that Momentum is looking in the long run to go ahead and build those businesses, and recognize it's not going to be perfect. It's a startup, and startups fail and then they improve, and then they fail and they improve until they get to that 5-star service level that the customer deserves. But if you're a brokerage in like a year and a half from now or 2 years, and you don't have the ancillary businesses that are eventually going to give value back to the agent or the consumer, then you're going to be behind, like big time. So I know that's I don't know if that answers your question, Bruce, but that's what the bundle is. And the consumer wants the bundle. That's the most important thing. They really do want that bundle experience.
Does the consumer, I'm a first-time home buyer. Let's just pretend I'm just coming into this process. As a first-time home buyer, do I know I want that? Or is that something that on the back end, I look back and say, oh, that was a great experience? Like, I'm sure you've gone through the process a couple of times. You recognize that it would be nice to not have to search for a homeowner's insurance company. It would be nice to not have to search for a lender, know you're getting the best deal. But like, how do consumers know this is what they want?
Because they don't don't want to have to go. They just want the best deal possible in the most convenient way.
So then we have to educate them on the front end, like, we can give you the best deal. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to prove it to some extent. Maybe you don't phrase it in the way of best deal, but hey, you use this bundle of services and you're going to save, $3,000-$4,000. We're going to help you with your closing costs because you use the bundle versus not using the bundle, right? So now you have to be very careful. There's a lot of laws around it. There's legality. Like, people are going to be able to figure that out though with their structure and their attorneys, and you also have to be careful to let them know, like, hey, you have options. You do not need to go with this company. You can't force anybody or coerce anybody to use anything that's against the laws and the policy. So, but with all that being said, companies are still doing it because Zillow is doing their Zillow home, like Realtor.com is doing theirs. Some of the big other players here have title companies. They name them something different, so you wouldn't even know that they are related, but they're definitely the same owners and the same management. And the owners are having their agents send the business in, and it's smart. Yeah, honestly, it's very smart. They're not giving away everything anymore to all these third parties. They're keeping it all in house. And if you find a way to streamline that process and add more value because it's all in one, you're going to win. Like, at the end of the day, it comes down to customer service and speed of communication and cost. And it's a race to the bottom. And so if you don't even have those other businesses open, you're going to be way behind. It's just, and you're going to have to build it from scratch, and building something from scratch can take years.
Yeah. And the reason I asked the previous question about, like, how does the consumer know? I think that, it does boil down to convenience. If you trust your agent that you're working with, and they say, I have ABCD set up for you. When I went through my home buying process, I trusted you. I didn't question anything. Like, I questioned a little bit with the lender, but and so I think that if you provided that to me, there's huge value in that on the agent perspective. Like, if you worked for a brokerage that had the bundle and you were able to sit across a client and just push this across and be like, I can give you $2,000 off your home purchase if you work with me. Like, that's insane for the real estate agent. So is this a competitive thing from brokerage to brokerage too, to try to recruit agents? Is this recruiting? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to be able to say, hey, I'll give $2,000 of my commission back. I mean, it's not going to work. Like, you're just eating right out of your, anyway.
Sure.
But,
yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. The consumer wants options, all right? So it's just like when you go into a listing presentation, and some people may have never heard this before. So if you're listening to this and you haven't heard this before, like, hang tight, write this down. You want to give what's called a menu of options, which is basically the services that you provide. And it starts typically, some agents even charge 7%, right? And they say, hey, for 7%, you get 1, 2, 3. All right. For 6%, you get 1, 2, 3. For 5%, you get 1, 2, right? Something drops off. Like, hey, I'm not going to do any open houses. I'm not going to pay for the professional video, the 1-minute promo ad to get your property out there and boost it on Facebook, put it on social media, just like get these extra buyers, this extra pool of buyers. I'm not going to text it around to the agents to get the buyers excited about it. Or you could do the 4% option, which basically is like a FSBO or a flat fee. I could do that. Or I can go, if you want to close like tomorrow, I can go to one of our local investors and get you a cash offer, like these instant offer programs that you see out there, and say, hey, for 75 cents on the dollar, if you own a $200,000 house, they'll buy it for $150 tomorrow. And you can do that. And that way you don't have to worry about any of the risks, the repairs, any of that kind of stuff, the selling fees. And so basically what you're doing is you're saying, here's your menu of options. Here's the different service level. This is what you're going to get. Well, the brokerage is going to have to do the same thing, right? Because every agent wants something different, and you want to be on a cost efficient structure, but you're saying, hey, if you want to work with me and our bundle of services, this is what you get. If you want to go out and go search for your own options, you can do that, but you're not going to get the bundle, right? So you're giving the consumer options because the consumer wants options. Amazon, when you go on their website, doesn't just, you type in gift basket. They don't just give you one gift basket and they're like, that's all we provide. They give you like literally a list of hundreds of gift baskets at different prices. They all come with different things. And based on what the consumer wants, you pick it. And by the way, no matter what you pick, it gets there the next freaking day. That's what the consumer wants, and that's what it's moving towards. So like with the Brooks Group, and this is true, and you can go into MLS and pull our stats. It was incredible. We were selling homes for 3.6% more than the average agent on the board. Like if you actually think about that, we're more than paying for ourselves when you hire us, and we were selling 55 days faster than the average agent on the board. That's mind-boggling, right? And then so like that is our 5-star review. Our 5-star reviews are results, and then you can go to our websites and check out the review via the menu of options. So you don't like, hey, don't trust me, trust the reviews, like in the past clients. And by the way, if you want the phone number of any of those past clients, you can call them directly too, just like as if you're on a board on Amazon looking at the people, and you can comment back to them and ask them more questions. It's just that's where it's going, and brokerages really need to be ahead of it and ensure that they're putting the bundle together for their agents. And here's what I would say about it. A lot of agents are like, well, I don't want someone to push me to use that lender or that title or that more. Again, for the agent, same thing. It's an option for you. But by the way, when your competitor and your large lead aggregator is building that out, and you're not going to be part of it, you're going to be happy that we built this. Does that make sense? And then you're going to be using that exclusively to be able to like pretty much compete with those other companies that are building it out.
Well, to speak to that, in recruiting conversations, I've talked to agents who come from other brokerages who they're pigeonholed into using this lender, this title company, and so I fielded questions before and said, like, do you do that? Do you care who I use? And of course, our position now is you can use whoever you like, but the bundle is the future for Momentum, and we don't have it's starting to be put together. But like you don't have to use this, but you're going to want to because the service is going to be so great. And at the end of the day, you're going to be able to give your client X back. And it's not built yet, it's coming, but like that's the vision. So to segue, like we know what it is now, we know why it's coming, we know who's doing it, but like to segue into with us, like, and we're speaking now to our own agents and any agents that hope to join, like you don't have to use who we partner with, but like you're going to want to eventually once this is all built out.
I don't think you're going to have an option if you want to stay competitive. That's the thing. Like we're not going out and building this because like we had a passion to do it, right? We just care about the agent and the agent experience and their wealth building, and to help them remain competitive in a very fast changing field. So we did not, like back in January, we did not have this mission. This was not even a conversation that we were talking about. And then as we're starting to observe and get deeper into the brokerage world, it's like, this is something that is like, if you have to, like, there's just no way, like in 5 years, 3 to 5 years from now, that if you don't have these services available, you're going to be able to compete with these major Wall Street brands that have unlimited money and unlimited technology and are willing to lose, just like Amazon, they're willing to lose money for like the first, was it 5 or 6 years, and Wall Street's still handing them money. It's because the game is about market share now, and they'll figure out monetization later after they put all the other people out of business. And that's where it's going with real estate too. And so like, if you want to remain competitive, you got to be on the front lines of it. The good thing is like Brittany's still slinging real estate, and she's observing it every single day. And I think she's actually might be the top producer for the whole brokerage, even though she's running it this month. She's stepping out of production. She's putting down a big book of business to be able to add more value to the agents and help on a day-to-day basis with the business. Not that she wasn't doing it before, but like she's purposefully stepping out of production so she can come in and teach classes and help agents get them to the next level, more on top of what we have already done. Because again, that's the mission of the brokerage, is to help the agents become business owners, really think about the strategy, where their leads are coming from, who they're working with, why their deals are falling through, why they're not falling through, to try to streamline the process so everyone's having a 5-star experience when they work with a Momentum agent. It becomes a premium brand, period. Yep. And like, people should feel like they're lucky to run into you. Like I know with Brittany, when people call her, they're begging her to work with them, because they know if they work with her, they're going to get like a 5-star experience. They're going to be handheld through the deal. They're going to feel like they're taken care of every single step of the way. And that's what the customer wants. How do you get that for the whole brokerage, right? How do you get that to be how they feel about just the brokerage in general and their ancillary services. Well, it doesn't happen overnight. Brittany had some of the best coaches in the country for a couple of years. So, yes, those services are not perfect now. And the cool thing is that we're super open to the feedback loop. And that's so important. Like, you cannot get better unless you ask feedback, create an environment for direct and safe feedback that's constructive, get it, and then immediately turn around and implement it. And that's what creates successful businesses, is having an amazing feedback loop with an amazing speed of implementation that is all focused about the customer as being the North Star for every decision you make.
Yeah, and ultimately that's the goal here, is to be able to provide the highest level of service for the client coming in and buying a home. And it's been amazing all around. And we give them the best possible title policy and process, insurance policy, mortgage, and brokerage, like to be able to, and it provides value for the agent. For it's just a trickle down effect. When you have that platform in place, then everybody wins.
Yeah, it's a tool. It's a tool. That's all it is. Hey, here's another option. Here's another tool that you can use to have your business succeed and remain competitive. Because the agent's not going to go off and build it on their own. It's going to have to be on the brokerage level.
Yeah. So for an agent who's either internal already or coming in and seeing this as a, whoa, like, I like my people, I want to work with my people, like, how would you deal with that opposition then? Again, because we're not forcing this on anybody, but to say respectfully, like, it's coming.
Use your people. Use your people. Like, you make the best decisions. And in the meantime, just know that leadership is working for you to build out this platform. So when the time comes, you're ready to remain competitive.
Nice.
But there's no obligation. We do not push people. We do not want to make people feel uncomfortable. We're also not perfect by any means. So like, if you used us once and didn't have a good experience, we're working on it. It is way better than it was 2 months ago. Just like when you join a team or a brokerage or anything like that, you get better every single day and you figure out, hey, this works, this doesn't work. This is what the market environment's telling us to do and not to do. And so as long as you listen and get better, then there's no problem with failing, right? Like, that's just part of the process. And, the agents who are in that position just need to trust that we take it extremely seriously and personally. If we're not getting something absolutely perfect, we will not make the mistake twice.
Mm-hmm. The future of the industry, we talk a lot about where the industry is going, what's next, looking forward. So I appreciate you spending time, like, kind of forecasting what the market's going to look like with the real estate bundle. So, like, hugely valuable to know for any agents listening to this, like, what to expect next and how to prepare and what to watch for. So, use your people, find your preferred lenders. But, if you work with a brokerage who can see the vision of where it's going, like, there's a better package, there's a better product coming, right? And to stay competitive, you have to be part of that. So thank you for that.
Yeah, you just got, and guys, like, if you're not paying attention to this now and you want to be a top producer, you want to remain in the real estate field over the next 5 to 10 years, and you love real estate, this is a conversation that you should be a part of. Mm-hmm. Because the battle is being fought right now between all of the tech sources. Everyone's racing to build the system with technology that's going to streamline the transaction. And a lot of them are trying to take the real estate agent out of the process the entire way and make them into W-2 employees. And this is happening whether you like it or not. So you either got to get on board or get out. And that's the truth of it. And so you need to realize where you stand and where this is headed, and take advantage of the now, right? Like, it's an amazing freaking market. If you're selling real estate, like, you could not have a better market. Affordability is at all-time lows. You got a record number of people relocating to North Florida from high cost, high tax areas. Like, enjoy this. Make, hay while the sun shines, as they say, and put it away and make profit. So that's like, actually keep some of what you're making here. Don't give away everything to your brokerage, and run your numbers, do your income statement, do your balance sheet. If you haven't seen that, we have examples of what we have done at every different level of production, what your profit margin should look like, what your income statement should look like. Brittany's doing a class on QuickBooks to help agents figure out, okay, how do I build my chart of accounts in real estate and measure everything on a monthly basis so you can make better decisions. And that's like where it all starts, is data collection. Once you understand where your business is coming from and how your dollar comes through and where it goes, and then what you net, the more clarity you have on that, you're going to be rocking towards being a true business owner in no time. And that's where things get really cool, where you start to realize, okay, out of that profit that I make, I'm going to put some here. I'm going to reinvest this. This is what I'm going to do in my lifestyle. This is how much I'm going to save. This is how much I'm going to invest. And that's where the conversations get really fun. And that's where we want to get the agents too. So keep in mind, that's where it starts, with the long-term vision that like things are changing and you need to start thinking about, what's my business plan going to look like in 5 years? Can I operate my business the same way that it is today on 1% commission? Right? The very real possibility. There's some markets that are already at 2% commission. So you need to figure out, okay, well, if I'm operating at 1%, how do I make sure that I'm built to last? And that's the key. And am I teaming with a brokerage that is built to last, or am I teaming with a brokerage that's taken 36+% of my commission dollars and, you know, living in a luxury location with no care to the agent and is basically an absentee owner? So you got to really think about like who you want to be partnered with while there's the greatest change ever. And remember that when COVID hit, the leaders who are the leaders in the industry showed up while the other ones hid and didn't say anything and said, oh, it's all rainbows and butterflies still, when it absolutely was not. So, you know, really think about who you're surrounding yourself with and who you want to align yourself with over the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing like your vision for where real estate's going with the bundle and all that. So always adding value. I appreciate the conversation, man. So let's close out here. Until next time. Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, Bruce.